Hello and welcome to Cyberman Son. I'm Steven.
And I'm Andrew. This is episode 3 of Cyberman Son.
Episode 3. So, this is a very special episode because this story that we're doing was thought lost, completely lost, no copies for years. Then in 1992 in Hong Kong, they opened up a random tin in some warehouse somewhere in a room and they found out the tin was mislabeled and it had the complete collection of this week's story. And it is...
Tomb of the Cybermen.
Tomb of the Cybermen with the Second Doctor. And this is actually one of the best Cybermen stories there. It's had a whole bunch of different types of releases, but we've got the nice, freshly restored DVD release, the best one to get. So, should we get into it?
This is Second Doctor?
The Second Doctor. So finally we get the actual Second Doctor intro.
So how long has the Second Doctor been around from this point?
This is the second season, I want to say.
What the?
This is actually one of my favorite starting sequences for Doctor Who, believe it or not.
My favorite is the 11th.
The 11th is really good. Now,
No, wait, the 12th is definitely the best. Where are we?
Who's the TARDIS? It's my home. At least it has been for a considerable number of years.
What are all these knobs? Huh.
What, these? Instruments. These are for controlling our flight.
Flight?
Well, yes. You see, we travel around in here through time and space. Oh, no. Don't laugh. It's true. Your father and Maxwell were working on the same problem, but I...
So we're even going to watch the 11th Doctor as
rather
Cyberman stories in the future?
which enables me to travel through the universe of time.
Oh.
I mean,
That would mean-
if what you say is true, you must be, well,
oh, listen.
how old?
Well, if we count in Earth terms, I suppose I must be about 400... Yes, about 450 years old.
It's 450 here.
What? But nowadays he's like
Yeah.
2,000.
I
It's
think
very
Victoria might find that dress a little impracticable if she's going to join us in our adventure.
Psycho.
Stand by.
Are you setting off a nuke?
No, they're trying to get inside a buried city.
Why would there be a city on an unknown planet? And Earth is...
They'll explain it.
Sure.
Hold it right there, friend. You put it like that, I certainly will.
He's a friend. Why are you pointing a gun at
Yes.
him?
All right, Hopper.
We're searching the universe for the last remains of the Cybermen.
Cybermen? You mean to say they came from here?
But of course, Telos was their home.
Right,
This
Bruce.
is the entrance to their city.
We know they died out many centuries ago. What we don't know
So
is why
it's
they died out.
centuries after the moon base.
Getting back to the rocket. I'll be with you in a minute.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, that's that. Are you coming back to the rocket with me, Professor? What for? You're not going on with this, are you? Look, I don't know if these people had anything to do with it or not, but one of my men has just been killed.
And then the black guy is the servant, so a little more racial stereotyping. And he's super strong, too.
How's that racial?
Well, because that's his defining features, so it's just like, it's a little, you know... If there was like another black guy who was there who was one of the lead scientists, and, you know... anyway.
Be very careful in there if I were you.
Then, you know, you'd have more developed characters.
You killed.
And actual people in the future.
Take all the electricity out.
Come on, let's go, Joy. Come on, Victoria.
I don't know what this is.
You look very nice in that dress, Victoria.
Thank you. Don't you think it's a bit...
It's a bit short. Oh, I shouldn't worry about that. Look at Jamie's.
Hey, I'll have you know that...
Oh, aye. Come along. Come along, let's go and see what the others are doing, shall
The
we?
Doctor,
Come
the
on.
Second Doctor, and Jamie traveled a long time together.
How long?
Almost the entire Second Doctor run.
And what happened to Jamie?
You find out about that in the War Games.
Is that all?
Aye.
All except this big button here. What does that do? I'm not sure, but we'll soon find out. I'm going to trace the source of these shapes. There must be a projector somewhere. Look, when I give the word, press the button. big one? Yes, maybe it works in
Let
conjunction
me guess,
with the other.
someone will die in
Right,
this
ready when you
episode.
are. Okay. Go ahead.
Because they died in the last two Cyberman stories.
Cybermen tend to kill people.
I got those Daleks.
Already had. What's the matter, Doctor? Which one was it? Which one what?
Is that a Dalek, basically?
No.
I knew it! Where did he come from?
He slid up from the wall. Are you going on a space expedition? Maybe looking for a long-lost civilization? Have you run into some trouble that needs that kind of brute force that only a special breed of people can bring you? Gun-toting, yelling, loud, hootering, and hollering folks who will come to your place, your expedition, your business, your home, and offer you the violent solutions that you need to get out in one piece. Yes, it's true, Americans can be the most fantastic investment that you could ever spend on any expedition. Are you going on an archaeology dig? Maybe you're going over on an overseas adventure. Perhaps you're lost on a deserted island.
Well, you need Americans.
What's so great about Americans? Well, like I said, they already come fully armed for your convenience. They come with the most brashest of attitudes, the loudest of behaviors, and if you call now, you too could get an American with an authentic Stetson cowboy hat. Coming up next, would you like an evil person? Just line up here for the Germans and the Russians. They will come and join your expedition only to stab you in the back.
It's alive. It's watching us. It'll get us all. We've got to leave.
All right, Viner. This is terrible.
Paranoid.
How did it happen?
We've got to get out
Well,
of this building.
he's not really paranoid because two people have already died, so
The Cybermen, didn't you see it?
he's very fearful though.
Cyberman, my dear Viner, they've been dead for the last 500 years.
I tell you, it was a Cyberman.
500 years it says. 500. This is the 26th century.
This is 570?
The question is, what
2570. It's 26th century.
Well, when you're ready. Any time, Doctor. Now, there is a distinct element of risk in what I'm asking you all to do, so if anyone wishes to leave, they must do so at once. Not you, Jamie.
Can't you stop this?
He'll kill us all. Not if you go back against that wall, in that corner there. Now, please.
Well, there's the Cyberman.
Okay, it's all right. I think it's all right now.
A fake Cyberman?
Yep, wasn't fake.
See,
Or wasn't real.
it's just a mock-up, a model. Don't touch that. That gun may be wound up too. It's
Why
a
was
trap.
there a gun
No, I
shooting
don't
at
think
it?
so. I think it's a testing room for weapons. This is a purely robotic Cyberman. There's no
Wiffle balls.
human material in it at all. He's a target.
It is done.
What?
Krunga. Krunga.
Earth is done. That is so
Krunga.
racist.
Doesn't make complete sense.
Earth was done.
Can't understand it?
Ah, Captain Hopper, just the man. Kindly be ready to blast off in 1842.
No.
I beg your pardon. Did I hear you right? You are paid to take orders, Captain Hopper.
Not impossible ones, I'm not. It's the fuel pumps. Some character has balled up the lot. What? Or something.
A, B, C, F. Yes, I got it. What?
He opens the hatch.
I've done it! Congratulations! Excellent! Now to work. Professor! Professor, listen to me, for heaven's sake! The hatch is down again. We're trapped down here. Trapped? But there are some of my party up there. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. You know how heavy that thing is? It's down now. We must do something. Give us a couple of hours in here at the most.
Mr. Klieg doesn't seem to be very worried.
No, I'm not, Doctor.
Hey, look behind you!
Uh-oh. He's waking up the Cybermen, which is a big mistake.
Look! Look at the honeycomb! There's something inside. There's Cybermen! Jimmy, come back.
But that's not enough by itself. We need power. Power to put our ability to action. The Cybermen have this power. I have come here to find it and use it. So
He thinks he can use the Cybermen.
Financing my expedition. Precisely.
That's so
Complete lack of
stupid.
administration.
Yeah,
made
he's
idea
dying
of our
next.
purpose.
I'm calling it. He's dying. I don't want him
Of
to die.
course,
He's
I
so
shall be their resurrector.
Interfere with our plan.
What do Cybermats do?
It stunned her.
Like,
It must have been like a threat neutralizer. It saw her there. She had a weapon, so it came, snuck up on her, and bit her unconscious.
open the hatch and shoot her. Why? She's evil.
Victoria's not a killer.
Still, she was evil. Evil must die.
Just watch.
He's the leader, the controller, Jerry.
Cyber controller. There you go.
This is Cyberman with a big hat.
It's not a big hat. It's his brain.
Oh.
Do you understand me? Now that I have released you,
Cyberman's like, no, I don't need you.
I said to me, it was outside.
It's like, you belong to us. You shall be like us. They're gonna convert all of them into Cybermen.
No, they're not, because they're future Doctor Who episodes.
Well, that's their plan. Alright, folks, we're here in the Cyber Tomb, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the situation's a little grim. I feel like we're gonna need to make sure that these weapons that I've set aside are tested adequately. The problem is that we're in a pretty enclosed space, so I'm going to need to set up like a target, and we're going to have like a series of guns and see which one is the most efficient. And again, there's a lot of us in a confined space, so anybody who doesn't feel safe around the firing of guns, maybe you guys can step out right now. No, not you, Andrew. Okay, so once we have all these guns set up and firing, we're probably going to need to stand strong against the cyber army, and there's going to be a few of us who are going to be needed to start shooting at them as there's waves and waves of Cybermen who only want to dismember us and turn us into them. We're going to be coming at us waves and waves. So anybody who doesn't want to be a part of the fighting, you can leave now. I won't hold it against you. You can just go. It's okay. No, not you, Andrew. Okay, and then once the waves and waves of Cybermen come, we're going to have to put them down, and then we're going to have to negotiate with the cyber controller to end the cyber menace across the universe once and for all. No more Cybermen. We're going to have to figure out a way to outsmart them, and he's going to try to trick us. He's probably going to try to take hostages. So anybody who doesn't want to be in the room with the cyber controller, I'd advise you guys to leave now, okay? Like, there's no, not you, Andrew. Okay, all right, does that sound like a plan, everybody? All right, let's get going.
How did you know that we would come to release you? You could have remained frozen forever.
The humanoid mind. You are inquisitive.
Ah, I see, a trap. A very special sort of trap, too. What do you mean, special trap?
Well, don't you see? They only wanted superior intellects. That's why they made the trap so complicated.
Excuse me. May I ask a question?
Why did you submit yourself to freezing?
You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
To survive. My history computer has full details of you.
Oh? How?
We know of your intelligence.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, the lunar surface.
Our machinery had stopped, and our supply of replacements being depleted.
So that's why you attacked the moon base.
Nope, lightning hands. Your feet stink, dude. Put your feet down. Oh, look, like you can see the strain on his back. The strain in the harness. Up he goes.
These Cybermen are really strong.
Yes.
Jim, stand by the power cutoff. Power, yeah. Stand back, will you? Just in case we get the wrong
back, will you?
Don't move. Raise your hands.
Now, look here,
I
lady.
shall kill you.
Well, your own men are down there, remember? What are you doing this for?
Move away from that control board. Over here. I shall open the hatch when Klieg gives the signal.
Well, why close it in the first place?
Klieg must remain undisturbed.
That's too long. I'm going down. Hey, Jim, what are those bombs loaded with? Smoke. Great, give us a couple, will you?
Yeah, sure.
Come on, come on. Okay, here we go.
I'm coming too.
Later, maybe. Not this trip.
Could be a woman.
How would you know, honey? You better stay up here. We don't know what's going on down there.
Poor Victoria. Nobody ever wants her to go anywhere.
Is he always like that?
Most of the time, Vic, yeah.
Oh, how embarrassing. Couple smoke bombs.
That's it.
Well, we'll just say that they're just freshly awoken, so maybe they're still a little disoriented.
Yeah.
Sure. Because I think the smoke bombs would hurt them way more than it hurt the Cybermen.
Stop yelling, they'll find you.
I'm evil!
What? That's... Oh, Cyberman is strong. Give up, that'll take you days.
It's horrible. Don't so strong.
It's all right, Victoria. You're all right now. That was a near thing. Is anyone missing? Yes. Klieg and Toberman, they're still down there.
Release the Cybermats.
Oh, here are the Cybermats.
We will use the power of cybernetics.
Cybermats are ridiculous.
Yeah.
All they do is knock you out a little. Right?
Well, I don't know if that's all they do.
Will be their target.
Are you happy with us, Victoria?
Yes, I am. At least, I would be if my father were here.
Yes, I know.
I wonder what he would have thought if he could see me now.
You miss him very much, don't you?
It's only when I close my eyes. I can still see him standing there before those horrible Dalek creatures came to the house. He was a very kind man. I shall never forget him. Never.
No, of course you won't. But, you know, the memory of him won't always be a sad one.
I think it will. You can't understand being so ancient.
Eh?
I mean old.
Oh.
You probably can't remember your family.
Oh, yes, I can when I want to. And that's the point, really. I have to really want to bring them back in front of my eyes. The rest of the time, they sleep in my mind, and I forget. And so will you. Oh, yes, you will.
So the Doctor had
You'll find there's so much else to think about.
But it's been a long time.
Our lives are different to anybody else's. That's the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
Daddy, wake up, Daddy. Wake up. Wake up. There, Daddy. Come back with us, steady. I will all go in the other room and lock them out.
Such a screamer.
It's just a mouse-sized thing.
Quite big. Like a foot or two.
Right.
Let's get out of here. The main door.
Ain't
No, no.
Oh, don't do that!
Kick it.
Back
It'll
against
do
control,
damage.
everybody. The testing room. Come on, now mind your feet. Oh.
Most ingenious, Doctor. Now, let's see what you can do against this.
Watch out, Doctor!
It's kind of anticlimactic knowing that there's future episodes.
Well, oh, good. The Cybermats, they're everywhere. Let's get out the side door. Let's get out the side door.
No, they're everywhere.
Oh, they're coming in that way as well. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I've got an idea. Let's give them snuggles.
Yeah. That's not the Doctor.
No, he jumped in the way.
That was the shoulder. That was like
Get back.
skimming the shoulder.
I don't think he's dead.
You got it.
Exactly.
No tricks?
You still think you can bargain with the Cybermen?
Certainly, this time on our terms.
Certainly.
Certainly.
This time on our terms. I have a gun.
The Cybermen hear that.
I wish to speak to the controller. I wish to speak to the controller.
I have a gun. Nah.
I wish to speak to the controller.
Nice boots.
Do you agree to
Yeah.
accept our plan?
Plan?
The conquest of the Earth.
What? You must be...
Silence! Your answer.
We accept
I mean, their plan anyways.
will give you some of our power devices.
Good. I knew an understanding could be reached.
Do you really believe you can bargain with those terrible Cybermen?
That is our
We've only asked you that question 5 or 6
I'm
times now.
talking to
Let's
him, not
let's
you.
ask it again.
They will have to agree to our plan.
That's a regular pistol, you dumb.
Will
Oh.
not obey.
Shoot the brain to get sound damage. Yeah!
Jeez, Andrew.
She was evil.
She's a nasty lady, but yikes.
Look what they've done.
Now, I have a better idea. Much better idea. I shall leave you to the Cybermen. I'm
then
sure they have some use for you. Or parts of you.
Yeah, I knew it. Die. Die. Who?
Jimmy, you go that way, I'll go this way. That way none of us will have a chance.
Pew,
When I say
pew.
run,
That's all he has to do.
run.
Hey, stop! Come on! We'll get a shock!
That's disgusting.
How terrible. Another life gone.
Goodbye. Now that really is the end of the Cybermen, isn't it? Yes, Jimmy?
No.
On the other hand, I never like to make predictions. Come along.
What? In Cyberman?
Yeah, just leave that anywhere. Sure.
That is the end of the Cybermen. Probably 1,000 years for him later, still fighting ones that are far more stronger and advanced.
Alright, that was Tomb of the Cybermen. Okay, Andrew, tell me, what did you think of Tomb of the Cybermen?
It was pretty good, yeah.
Okay, what did you like about Tomb of the Cybermen?
On how stupid the guy was thinking he can control the Cybermen.
Oh, so you liked that part?
Yeah, he was so stupid.
Yeah, Klieg and Evil Lady. Actually, I will say, I kept missing Evil Lady's name over and over again. Like, they'd say it really quick, or they'd kind of say it kind of mumble or whatever. But every time they said Klieg's name, it'd be Klieg. You know, like, Klieg, Toberman, lady. But yeah, I mean, this isn't the only time we're going to see this, too. There are going to be other Doctor Who stories where someone thinks they can control the Cybermen, or someone thinks they can control the Daleks. Oh, I've got a plan. I can control them. It's nonsense. But yeah, this is the first time we've seen this, though, right?
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen, actually, the Daleks trying to be controlled in a far later episode.
Oh yeah, it happens a lot, because some egomaniac, this is a recurring theme in Doctor Who.
There was an army episode where there was a Dalek, and he said he was fully controlled by him, but he actually wasn't.
Yeah. So, a theme in Doctor Who is human egomaniacs really think that they can control deadly aliens and war machines that they've got the upper hand and they can control them. So, what else? What else did you like?
The fact that the evil lady died.
Oh yeah, Andrew was getting kind of a little kill crazy there, don't you think? It's just like people started dying, you're like, yes, finally, yes, die. I mean, yikes. I mean, where's your compassion?
Those people that died were evil little female dogs.
I guess part of it is that it was amazing that they lived as long as they did because of how stupid they were being. I mean, okay, fair enough. Is there anything you didn't like?
No.
Nothing you didn't like?
No.
Okay, did you feel that this one was slow? Kind of like that was one of our problems with both the 10th Planet and the Moon base, is that at times it could get a little slow and you get a little bored as things were going on. Did you feel that way about this one?
Not really.
Okay, so the pacing was much better. Okay. Okay, any questions you have? Anything that didn't make sense?
Idiot trying to control the Cybermen.
Well, yeah, I mean, besides character motivations, yeah. To conquer the Earth, nonetheless, and I don't know how he thinks a single guy, a lady who allegedly has a name, and Toberman, could control an entire world-conquering cyber army. I don't know why they thought that was gonna work. Okay, so first off, I actually really liked the music in this story. I thought it was great.
Wasn't it the same as the last one?
Some elements were the same, but no. There was actually quite a few incidental music that was different. Yeah. It did kind of play into stereotypes a little bit, let's be honest, with some of the characters. There was the Weasley kind of like scared archaeologist. Oh, we're all gonna die. Oh no, we're gonna die down here. There was that guy. There was the American crew who were gonna run in with their guns and save everybody. There was the big, strong, almost silent black guy who
has a very deep voice.
Yeah, so when he actually does speak, rarely, he has "Oh, Hulk smash" sort of thing. You could have replaced him with the Incredible Hulk, and it probably would have been fine, I guess. You have Klieg and the lady are on the verge of being German, and remember, I mean, the British have kind of a tenuous relationship with the Germans, certainly at that point in the 60s. There was actually a fair bit of what I call dialogue padding. So where people ask the same questions over and over again. It's like, think of Victoria and the lady upstairs. Well, why won't you open the door? Well, why don't you let them out? It's like, you've been asking her this question like 6 times already. Is it because, you need to pad out the episode, I guess? Or what about when they're down in the cyber tomb? It's just like, well, how do you think you can control the Cybermen? Hey, that's a fair question. The first couple times we heard it, but then we keep hearing it over and over and over again, and it's like, look, the guy's insane. We've already established he hasn't thought his plan through. We don't need to hear over and over again, well, wait, hold on. You think you can control the Cybermen? Why do you think that? It's like, well, because he's an idiot, okay? He's a maniac, yeah. So a little bit of that. We also get introduced to the Cybermats this story, and their function... The Cybermats, their function in this story is to act as little spies and attack, and they sink in on human brainwaves and then jump up and bite them into unconsciousness. And although it only knocks Crazy Lady out like once, we get the impression when the Doctor's trying to seal them off with the magnetic field that they can actually be lethal as well. And the Cybermen are like, they're doing what you're doing with Mira right now. The Cybermen are like, oh, here's our Cybermats. Let's all put them down and get them to work and stuff. The Cybermen and the Cybermats have a very unusual relationship. No, okay, and like I said, this was a landmark episode. I mean, this was a favorite even before it was refound, because they released it, with narration and stills and stuff, and people were like, oh wow, yeah, Tomb of the Cybermen, it's too bad it's missing. And then in the 90s it was found, and then the Doctor Who restoration team, I showed you some of the footage of like how they repaired some of that crazy damage that was to the film and stuff. I mean, yeah, some of it was in really bad shape, and the Doctor Who restoration team, it claims on the DVD, cleaned up 16,000 faults.
Estimated.
Well, I mean, you're not going to get a firm number, but 16,000, that's crazy. But yeah, so Tomb of the Cybermen. Actually, you know, honestly, I really like Tomb of the Cybermen. I think it's a great story. It's chilling, fantastic atmosphere. You know, you've got almost like John Carpenter's The Thing, where you got a whole bunch of people who are isolated, and you got to figure out a way to get them out of there. We're kidding. Okay, Andrew, what would you rate Tomb of the Cybermen? How many Cybermats would we give it?
4.
4 Cybermats. You know what? I'll agree with that. We're going to give Tomb of the Cybermen 4 Cybermats out of 5. Okay, so next week, this is the tricky one. I thought the moon base was going to be tricky, if you remember, but this is going to be a tricky one here. It's called The Wheel in Space. At that point, Victoria will have left them. It'll be the next year, and they are going to meet a new companion named Zoe, who will stay with the Second Doctor until the end of his run. And now, here's the tricky thing. The Wheel in Space is 6 episodes long, and only 2 of them survived. Oh. We're missing 4 of the episodes, but I found a source online that has a reconstruction of the missing 4 episodes. So it might be kind of unusual to watch because it's going to be like the last episode of the 10th Planet, where it's going to be like still images and a soundtrack and stuff, and maybe some subtitles. But we're going to watch The Wheel in Space, and we're going to see what the heck the Cybermen are up to this time. I mean, they've been losing pathetically. I mean, let's be honest. Their plans so far always suck.
All right, like and subscribe, and if you know that crazy lady's name, please comment that down below if you were listening properly.
Anyways, see you next time.